Hello and welcome back, Spooky Squad. Today is a bit of a different day, I think we can say, because today we are going to play a little game called Guess That Grade. I finally decided to pull the trigger and submit a small group of cards to a grading company here in Canada called MNT Grading. The reason I chose them is simply because I don't plan on selling these cards. These are for my personal collection. And on top of that, I won't have to pay ridiculous import fees on a multiple $1,000 insured package, which is always a bonus. So to start things off, and the reason this one isn't in this pile here is because, as you can see, it's the special delivery Pikachu from 1 or 2 months ago now, still in the seal. So we're actually going to crack that seal open today, which might be a little bit painful, but it needs to be done. Oh man. That's painful. There's no going back now. You know what? I'm just gonna do a clean cut the whole way through, just so I'm not trying to tear anything off here. That is a beautiful looking holofoil right there. No print lines whatsoever. Sorry, I have to tilt it like a weird way because of where my light is. I'll try to get that up closer, but yeah, there are no print lines here. The centering looks great, but I haven't seen the back because this stupid card was in the little package with it. It does look like there's a little bit of whitening right there at the bottom corner. This one looks fine. And the top looks fine as well. See, no whitening really aside from that one bottom corner. In terms of the centering here, I would say it's also pretty good. Pretty solid. So this is a contender. I think if I had to guess on this one, probably say 9.5 MNT grade. Next up is this guy, which we pulled also a very long time ago. As you can see, centering looks fantastic. This guy has no silvering, no whitening whatsoever. Centering looks great. And even on the backside, very, very nice centering. I would be surprised if we got a pristine 10. I don't know if it'll happen, so I'm gonna be a little bit generous. Call this one a 9.5. Same as the Pikachu. This is the next card here, the amazing rare Raikou. Again, pulled this one on the channel. Centering looks pretty good. I think top to bottom is a little bit off, which might throw this one down by a 0.5 or so. And the back also doesn't really have much whitening. Again, it's kind of just a centering issue. Like you can really tell here, the bottom got a little bit of a butt there, if you know what I mean. So we will see. I think my prediction for this one would be an MNT 9. I don't think we'll get much higher than a 9. This one, unfortunately, we will not see the back of, but it is the Japanese Pretend Gyarados Pikachu promo. If any Japanese cards in the past have been any indication, usually centering is fine, so I'm not super worried about like whitening or centering on these. I think the print quality is going to be pretty high regardless. So we're really just looking for the surface and the front centering. I think the corners were pretty clean from what I remember, but these have been in this case for like 5 years, so I don't really want to take it out. I think we're just going to use our best judgment here. The surface of the card does not seem to be showing any kind of print lines, scratches whatsoever. I mean, I pulled these out of the promo box. I say these because the next one is this. Pulled them straight from the promo box and sleeved them up, and they kind of just sat in top loaders for 5 years, so they are essentially new condition. I would say probably, just because I can't see the back, I don't want to guess too high on this. I think a 9.5 on each of these is probably a safe bet. So we'll say 9.5 for these two guys right here. Some of you may have seen this already if you followed me on Instagram or currently follow me on Instagram. This is the first edition base set Mewtwo. I got this as a part of a bulk deal that I bought. The condition though is not very, very good. As you can see when I shine it in the light, there's some silvering up at the top in the corners here. There's some silvering in the bottom and across basically the whole thing. It's got like a ring of silvering, which is far from ideal. And if I shine that light, you can probably see there are some scratches on the card. It might be a little bit hard through the card saver, so I apologize for that, but yeah, definitely not the cleanest thing. And if I get real close here, there's even some little gunk that I couldn't get rid of. I tried. It's stuck on there after 20 years of being in a little container in a box. And then the back, you can see here, a lot of whitening on the side here. And even into the bottom corner. So honestly, after looking at this and thinking about it for a while, I don't really honestly see this getting higher than like a 6. But we will see how it goes. I think the prediction here will be a safe 6. And then next up, we've got the Charizard VMAX. The reason I am here today, I pulled this off camera. And if any of you watched my returning video, you would have known that this was actually the reason. Pulling this was the reason I decided to start making videos again. Anyways, this is the Charizard VMAX. The centering is, I dare say, perfect, at least on the front. And if we look at the corners here, no whitening whatsoever, and even the sides are like perfect. And the centering on the back is god tier. So I think this is a clean shot at a 10. I would be surprised if it came back a 9.5. So I think 10 is probably a safe guess for that. But next up, we have the big boy. And now, we pulled this on the channel as well. If you remember, yes, I dropped it. I know, clumsy butterfingers. But I don't know if that'll affect much, really. It, I think, hit like this top corner when it dropped. And that corner looks fine. I mean, you can kind of see a little bit of cut lines, but that wouldn't have been from me. And even on the backside, there's really no dents to this at all. So I'm not super worried about that drop. The thing that I am worried about is this wonky centering. If you can see, this whole bottom and left side are way off in comparison to the top and the right side. And I think that carries through to the front as well. So a safe guess for me on this would be a 9.5, I think. But next up here, we have got, yes, the very first pull on the channel, and that is not an exaggeration. This was from the first pack of the first video of 2020 that I made and posted on the channel. Now it looks like the centering is a bit off, the top is a little bit heavy, so that's gonna hurt for sure. But if we look at the back, there is no whitening. I'm even trying to look at the bottom corners. Top corners look great, and the sides are phenomenal as well. So I think the only thing really hurting this is the centering. I would say probably a 9.5, and that's hopeful. 9.5 on the shiny Charizard V. This is another one you would have seen if you follow me on Instagram. Shameless self-plug. Instagram link in the description below. Oh man, something's in my throat. Anyways, this is the Shadowless Mewtwo. I bought this back in, I want to say 2012, 2013, and I paid $10 for this card. So definitely shot up in value since then. Look at the corners, nothing. Look at the holofoil, nothing. Is that on the sleeve or in the card? That's on the sleeve. Nothing on the holo. Top corners, nothing. Backside, maybe a bit of whitening, but otherwise clean Shadowless Mewtwo. I would say, I mean, it's 20 years old. The centering might be a bit wonky. I don't know. Again, I'm not super familiar with MNT. I don't know how they grade. We'll say 9.5, and that's a little bit hopeful. Now, the last card in the submission, the Shadowless Venusaur, also purchased back in 2012/2013 for a grand total of 15 Canadian smackaronis. That's right, this cost me $15 back in the day. Much like the Mewtwo, slapped it into a sleeve, top loader, sat in my closet for 7 years. So you can see in the holofoil, literally no scratches. Obviously there might be a bit of a discrepancy with the card saver on there, so we'll take that into account when we make our estimation here, but the corners are clean. Bottom corners look great. And even the backside, I think there's just, yeah, there's a tiny little bit of whitening on these bottom corners here. But from what I can tell, the sides are very clean. Top corners also have a little bit of whitening, which definitely hurts. And if you haven't noticed by now, look at this cap on the thing. Yep, that centering is disgusting. So I think with all of that in consideration, I would probably say safely an 8, an MNT 8. So that's my guess for the Shadowless Venusaur. But that's that. I thought this would be fun to just go through, take a guess, and I guess we'll be back in a week and a half, 2 weeks maybe, with the actual graded slabs and see if we were right at all. All right, we're back, and in my hand I hold none other than the graded slabs. That's right, they're back. I'm holding this backwards because it has my information on the front. And for that exact same reason, I'm gonna open this up off camera, get rid of any papers that have any of my information, and we'll get straight to the cards themselves. First up here is the Shadowless Venusaur. This thing had a bunch of problems. If I can sneak it up a little bit more, or maybe sneak it down. So the issue with this mainly was the centering. I don't know if you can really see it from that far away, but on the top there's a huge, what I like to call a cap, which essentially just means a ton of yellow up top. And aside from that, there was some whitening on the corners, a little bit of whitening on the back, one of the top sides. So the prediction for this one was an MNT 8, and we'll see what we got here. A 7.5, not bad. I will take it. And again, with the, here, I'll take it out of the bag here, but with the whitening on the back, I think that really took it down. So let's take a look here. Yeah, it looks like the surface actually got dinged down, so that's interesting. I kind of wonder where that would have happened, since as far as I could tell, I mean, see that little black dot? That's pretty much the extent of it from what I could see. But you never know. So this one may be a regrade, we'll see, unless I was missing something on the foil. Again, I'm not too sure. You know, these guys look at it under a microscope, so you never really know, but there we go, 7.5. That's very nice, I'm happy with that one. What is next? Looks like the Shadowless Mewtwo, regular Shadowless, not the first edition. So let's see here. This one, I think, was probably about the same estimation as the Venusaur. It didn't really have much wrong with it from what I could tell, aside from the centering and maybe a bit of surface stuff. So I believe that was an 8 or an 8.5. So we'll see here, a 7.5. Okay, yep. Makes about as much sense as it can, given what the Venusaur came back as. So let's take another close look here, actually, at the subgrades. Wow, the surface got a 6.5 for this. So I'm really curious what actually dinged the surface down that low. That's really strange. And that looks like that's on the case, so I'm not too sure. And then yeah, we got little dings and stuff up there, which, I mean, the edges get an 8.5 with that, but the surface gets knocked, so I'm not too sure what actually knocked the surface, but 7.5, can't complain. That's a pretty solid grade, especially for cards that old that I just bought off of some random seller that had them stored in, you know, in a Tupperware container. Next up, it looks like we have the shiny Charizard V that we pulled way back. I think the guess was a 9.5. So we'll see what we got here, and it is a 9.5. Look at that, beautiful. So let's take a close look here at the subgrades. It looks like centering, yep, the centering got a 9. Go figure. I believe it was top heavy, so you can see it kind of there on the front, and then on the back, a little bit more apparent on the back side. There we go, corners, edges, and surface all got the 9.5, which is kind of crazy to me because this was packed fresh and I didn't really notice anything myself, so I think that just goes to show how tough MNT can be with their grading. I think they're really trying to, you know, come in strong and set their stage with his reputation, so that makes sense to me. 9.5, I'm happy with that. Next up here, we can see obviously the big rainbow Pikachu that we pulled and subsequently dropped onto his face. I can't remember much about this. I think my guess was a 9.5 or a 10. So let's see here, we've got the 9.5. Amazing. Wow, we actually got a 10 on the surface. Considering we dropped it, that's pretty good. Edges 9, centering 9.5, corners 9.5. Again, don't know how much of that was taken off from me dropping it, but there we go. Beautiful card with a beautiful grade. And of course, that lovely gold label. 9.5, Pikachu VMAX Rainbow Rare. Lastly here we have the regular Charizard VMAX. Didn't actually pull the Champions Path one yet, unfortunately, but this was the card that I pulled myself before coming back to YouTube and making videos. I don't remember much wrong with this one either. I think the centering was pretty solid. Surface was pretty solid, and corners didn't really have any issues. I think my guess was a 10 on this one, so we'll see here. A 9.5, okay. Okay, so let's take a closer look at the subgrades, see what knocked this one down. So yeah, it looks like the centering and the surface got a 10, and it was the edges actually at the 9, which made it, you know, sink down to that 9.5, which is a shame, but I respect the grade. I respect it. So I think actually, is it that top corner? I don't know. I might have to take a closer look at the edges to see why it got knocked so much. But right off the bat, I can't really tell what could have brought it down to a 9 instead of a 9.5. There we go, 9.5 Charizard VMAX. That's the end of this box, so I will open up the other one, set it up the same way, and then we will get back and see how those other cards are. You can see we're starting it off with the first edition base set Mewtwo. This one had a ton of flaws, from surface to corners, whitening, you name it. It had it, so I think my estimation on this was a 6, 5 or a 6, I think. So we'll see here if we can pull it out. What we got, and it is a 6. Very nice. Yeah, I didn't expect too much better, but it was sitting in one of those old Pokemon lunch tins. I'll put a photo up on screen if I still have that thing kicking around. Bouncing around, getting knocked up, beaten up. And you can see this corner especially here is very noticeable. You got some whitening. Trust me, it goes all around the sides. So I'm very happy with a 6. Let's take a look here. Yep, definitely surface knocked that one way down. 5.5 on the surface. Edges 6.5, corners 6, and centering as good as it gets, 9. So that's pretty good. Right on the mark with that one. 6 excellent mint. So there we go, first edition Mewtwo. Next up here we have the Pretend Magikarp. I almost said Gyarados. This is the Pretend Magikarp Pikachu, which was a Japanese promo from way back in 2015 or 2014. Came in a promo box that I bought, opened up on the channel back then. And I think, if I recall correctly, guess there was a, this would be a 10. I didn't actually take a look at the back, so I didn't want to pull it out of the sleeve, but centering looks good, at least from the front. No surface damage, so yeah, I believe it was a 10 for this and the Gyarados. So we'll see here. And we actually got, no way. I'm gonna take this out right now. Oh my god, we actually got the black label? We have a flawless 10. I can safely say I did not think we would get a flawless 10 on any of these. Wow, look at that label. That's crazy. And you can see right there, proof is in the label. 10 on corners, surface, edges, and centering. We have the Pretend Magikarp Pikachu. Let's take a look at the back there. Of course, the Japanese prints are always incredible quality, so if it was gonna be any card, it would be a Japanese one. There we go, flawless 10, incredible. I am extremely excited about that one. Okay, and then that set the stage real high. Do we get the twins? The back-to-back black label, let's see. We don't, we get a, what MNT calls pristine 10. And forget the name of the label exactly, but you can see it's a nice little like ice break kind of foil pattern there. Let's see what actually got knocked there. No way it was the corners. Oh, come on, man. So close, yet so far. But I'm very happy with that. That's still solid. We got a pristine 10 in the house. And yep, there you go. You can see the back. Pretty much flawless, as close as it comes to flawless with that pristine 10. That's incredible. Next up here, we've got the amazing rare Raikou. Didn't, again, see too much wrong with this. We pulled it on the channel. I think my guess was a 9.5, so we will see here a 9 mint. Okay. Okay, I see. So we only got one 9.5, which was the surface. Man, I'm surprised the centering didn't get a 9.5. I mean, is it not supposed to be a little higher since they added that text in? I don't know. And I think that leads us into the next amazing rare. It definitely does. The amazing rare Rayquaza. I think I guessed the 9.5 on this as well. So we'll see here, and we got the 9.5. Very nice. Almost made the 10 there. Corners and centering both hit 10s. Surface and edges 9.5. Not bad at all. That's a very strong 9.5. And last but not least, the special delivery Pikachu. Again, opened this on the channel. Saw there wasn't really anything wrong with it. I might have guessed the 9.5 with a hopeful 10. So we'll see. This thing obviously has exploded in value over the last few weeks. And the dramatic review. Oh, 9.5. Okay, let's take a close look at what exactly went wrong for our boy Pikachu here. So it looks like, wow, really the corners got dinged a lot with that 9. But the centering got a 10, just as I suspected. Okay, that makes sense. Edges and surfaces 9.5 also kind of makes sense. Corners though, interesting. I'll have to take a look off camera. A 9.5, that is considered gem mint special delivery Pikachu, which I think at the time of recording this is worth a little bit over $1,000. So very, very nice. Beautiful card. I'm very happy about that. So overall, that was really fun. I had a great time. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to hit that like button, subscribe for more content like this. I post a video every Saturday at 2 p.m. EST. And with all that out of the way, thanks for watching. See ya.